Okay, welcome back to the Caribou Media Outdoors podcast. With me tonight is Chris Perkins. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, been meaning to reach out to you since I started this thing because it's nice to have fellow Canadians on here.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's awesome. Yeah, usually I'm like trying to do time breakdowns of people in mountain time and all this stuff, and it's like we're both in the same spot. This
Yeah,
is
that's
good.
what I messaged you tonight. I'm like,
Yeah,
is it 7 my time
yeah,
or
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's
yeah.
awesome.
So, cool.
So I usually like to start by kind of going back in time with people and find out when you first picked up a bow. So where you were, who kind of introduced you to it. Can you tell us that?
Yeah. I mean, I was super young when I picked up, I guess, I don't know whether it'd be like a Walmart recurve or it was just a yellow fiberglass bow at that time. Obviously, something nothing super serious. Just a kid with flinging arrows in the
Mm-hmm.
backyard, and pretty much losing them. But yeah, so I mean, seriously, got introduced into it at a young age, probably 9, 10 years old. Then really picked one up when I was 11. Dad bought me my first compound, like a true compound at that point, for my 11th birthday. Mainly just for bow hunting purposes, nothing to do with target archery or 3D or anything like that. Neither one of us knew really what that was at that point. Dad had a 3D foam deer for just practicing there again for bow hunting. But as far as a competitive standpoint, only picked it up to bow hunt, and that was really the direction that both of us were kind of headed in the archery side of things.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember what the first bow was?
Yeah, PSC Nova.
There you go. Yeah.
I have so every bow growing up as a kid, I still have.
Oh, that was my next question.
Yeah, yeah,
that's
I still have every single one. So
that's wicked. That's awesome. So
yeah,
hunting first. So when did the target and 3D side of it kind of kick off for you?
I mean the 3D side of things was probably within a year or two of picking that bow up, only because I think Dad had found out about a local 3D tournament happening here, and he took me to it. There again, not knowing really anything about it,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, competed in that. I was probably cub at that point, I guess is what the category would be. Gentleman come up to Dad. I want to say it was at that event. It could have been at a different one, but it was pretty early on that someone had approached Dad and said, one day he'll probably be really good at it if he sticks with it. Like he seems to have the fundamentals of it, even not being coached at that time, just basically picking it up, having it in my hands for 12 to 18 months, and just kind of picked it up relatively quickly. And at the time, I was playing hockey, so it was kind of a pick your battle, I guess.
Right.
3D tournaments were on Sunday. Hockey games were on a Sunday. So Dad said, I don't really care which one you do, but we can't be
Pick
in two
one.
places. Can't be in two places at once. So you got to pick one. So I think I picked the right one.
So your hockey career was over.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're doing tournaments at a young age, and then at what point did you think that this could actually become something for you other than just a guy showing up to these events like
I
everybody
mean,
else?
yeah.
Was there like a defining moment or anything where
No, really. I
no?
mean, to be honest, there really wasn't. Without, I guess, if we're fast forwarding here to quite a few years later, without a world championship or without my world championship in 2011, uh, probably would just be doing it just to bow hunt. That
Mm-hmm.
was kind of I guess that was kind of a turn point of, do you want to continue going in a direction that could possibly take you somewhere? Or do you want to just keep it as, a weekend thing and, something you thoroughly enjoyed
Right.
doing? So I think that obviously sped up the process or gave me a direction of, okay, that this is something we could do. Yeah, I mean, early on, I mean, there was no like, oh yeah, I want to do this, or I want to be like those guys and shoot for a living, I guess. So.
Mm-hmm. And how would you describe your form, like evolving over the years? Has there been many big changes, or?
I just lean further back, I guess. um, not really. No. Early on, I started shooting fingers.
Okay.
I stayed away from a release for quite some time.
Okay.
And the reason, I guess, behind that was just I'm trying to think. We're going way back now. I guess the whole back tension or release thing was just something, I guess, that could speed up bad habits, or you could get bad habits early.
Mm-hmm.
Where shooting fingers for me, I mean, it was just it was at that time was just natural. There again, I didn't have like what kids have now for equipment. Like I said, I had a PSC Nova, and it had, I don't even know what it had for a sight on it. Maybe just a almost like a bobby pin type thing. You just stuck it in the side, but
Yeah.
and a springy rest or whatever. So it was just kind of something that was pieced together, and we made do with what we had. But form changes. I've got a picture from like 2008, maybe even early on 2006. And if you did like a side comparison of what, like my anchor point and stuff looks like now, it's virtually identical.
Wow.
So
That's awesome. So when you did eventually get into releases, where did you start? Was it a button? Was it a hinge? Was it a?
it was actually an index trigger.
It was an index.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
It was called the Fletch Hunter. I think I want to say they're still around. They still make them, but yeah, it was. And there again, still have it. I guess you could say I'm a bit of a hoarder because I have everything. But yeah,
You're a
so
collector.
yeah,
You're
it
a
was.
collector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, started with an index. Shot that for quite some time. I really learned the ins and outs of it before going to unhinged style release.
Okay.
Never was not one for a button. Have not shot a button
No.
really at all. Just
Okay.
when I started shooting a release early on, it was really ingrained in my mind that it was a lot of it was to do with back tension, and it was a surprise shot. So to hear people talk about command style shooting now, or making the shot happen when you need it to happen, I guess I'm too far ingrained that I can't do that. So
That's
started
good.
with a
Yeah.
started with a Carter spike, which was
Okay.
basically just a handle and a hook, and then run a D loop on the release. Never ran a D loop on the string till much later. So
Okay. Interesting.
yeah.
On the release itself.
Mhm.
Cool. And then
Yeah. So
at what stage of the game were you, I guess, approached by Matthews, or did you sign on with Matthews? Was that
I didn't sign on with Matthews until 2018.
okay?
Yeah, 2018, I think it was. Yeah, I shot for, a lot of people don't know, I shot for Bowtech from 2006 to 2010.
Well, there we go. Okay.
And then I shot for PSE from early 2011 to 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And then did you notice, was there a difference? I mean, obviously share what you want, but was there a difference in one company to the next in terms of being one of their pro shooters? Like, is it kind of the same setup no matter what company you're with, or how does it work?
I mean, there's There's some differences for sure. I wouldn't say that uh, there's really any negatives to both. Obviously representing a company of the size of PSE and the size of Matthews to that magnitude, obviously you have an image to uphold. You have a job to do as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, for either one, I mean, they're both run relatively, the same. I mean, I think PSE has always had a much smaller pro staff than Matthews.
Okay.
Matthews has a much wider spectrum of shooters in different categories than PSE did. I haven't really followed too much with PSE lately, obviously since probably 2018. But
Mhm.
I know a couple of their shooters that they have, and at the time that I was shooting for them, they didn't have a super big group. Um, Matthews has a strict R&D team, so they basically do the research and development of new products. Obviously, they take kind of what we have to say into consideration as well, but they do a lot of the
Okay.
legwork where PSC would fly a couple of us out each year. And kind of discuss some things that maybe we wanted to see or some changes that might benefit the upcoming products for the next year. And so as far as having a little bit more hands on, I think PSC was a little bit more in depth with that than Matthews. But I mean,
Mhm.
they're both spectacular companies to shoot for, and
Oh, for
I
sure.
was super grateful to have the time I did have with PSC. And yeah.
Um, so we all recently saw you at Lancaster. It was awesome. You got into the shootout.
Yeah.
That's got to be like
Yeah.
wild, eh? Like it's just I look at all those people, and I think there's like thousands and thousands of people on the line at the beginning, right? And
Yeah.
you're so close together, and um, I've never shot in a situation like that. Like I've done some 3D and a couple indoor things, but nothing to that magnitude. Um, is it a little nerve wracking being that close to people and having like the four targets on one face down at the end? Or
Yeah. I mean, I've been kind of doing it
you,
for so long. I don't really pay
yeah,
attention
you
to
don't
what
pay
everybody
attention,
else is doing, but
right?
I would say, obviously early on in shooting in my career that, shooting here, local tournaments or whatever, 3D or indoor or whatever. And then going, stateside, obviously the amount of competitors or shooters, um, definitely a lot more there. Like I think the first international competition that I shot as far as target goes was indoor nationals in Louisville, Kentucky. And I don't know how many thousands of shooters were there, but I mean it was just like kind of mind blowing at that time. But
Hmm.
now I mean you have your box, you have a pretty hefty amount of room to where you shouldn't really be bothered to anybody else. But that also comes down to being able to tune that out and just focusing on you and the target and doing what you have to do and obviously walk off the line once you're done. But
Hmm.
I've never I've never really had any issues to, where somebody has bothered me on either side of me, but to somebody that's just starting and go to a tournament like that, yeah, it's a little bit mind blowing.
Hmm. And is that the process that they do it there is so different compared to other places? Because you could be, is it the top eight that go into the? Trying to remember now. Is it the top eight that go into the shootout, or is it?
Yeah. So what happens with that is you have your qualifier. They count X's as 11s, which is a pretty big deal there. So, and also how it works there. Again, like you said, it's quite a bit different. But your qualifying score counts throughout your elimination matches. So
Okay.
um, I don't know how many we had in our category, a couple hundred, and then once we shot our 60 euro qualifier, top 64 move on. and you go through your elimination passes until there's 8 left.
8. Right.
Once there's 8 left, then your qualification score and then your elimination scores are all added up. And then whoever has the highest is ranked number 1 and then goes number 2, 3, 4, all the way down to number 8. And so how it works, which is, like you said, very different than how everything else works, is your number 8 then goes against number 7. Whoever wins that then moves on and goes against seed number 6, and so on and so forth until you're left with just 2 guys. So really, I mean, obviously you want to shoot a really good qualifying score, and you want to shoot really good match play passes. And then if you do end up, making it the top 8, hopefully you ranked, relatively high, just because of how it works. Obviously being ranked number 2 or number 3 is, probably a pretty good position to be in, considering when, you do make it and you go against seed number 1, you've already got a match or 2 underneath your belt, and you've kind of have things figured out where that gentleman is coming in cold and is kind of, coming from the practice range to the tournament field. It should be the same.
Right.
You shouldn't have any differences, but, having a match or 2 underneath your belt, kind of work those nerves out and get a little bit more comfortable with where you're at. It's a good position to be in.
And then the 12 button, shooting the 12s, that's got to be a little nerve wracking too, because
it's risk for reward. I mean,
they place it in such an awesome spot. Right?
You don't. There's not a lot of room for error.
No,
I believe it's 1.5 centimeters, where the normal X is 2 centimeters. So it's smaller, and not in the best place. But hey, if you hit them, it's cool. If you miss them, it's kind of game over at that point.
That's especially at that level, like it's wild. Like you can't, same with Vegas. Like you get there and you shoot a 9, you're probably done, right? It's just like you got to be like
Vegas. You shoot a 9, you might better get a flight home.
That's right. Well, and we're done. You're done. So what? Can you go over what your current setup is? I guess your tournament setup and your hunting setup.
Tournament setup. Matthews Title 40, Excel XP Pro sight, AVX 31 scope, with a Signature Series Falcon X Shot 5-power lens. Indoors, I'll run a 2mm black dot. When I go to shoot 3D and stuff, I'll switch to a fiber. Rest is Q80 Tri. Stabilizers are the Excels, Acclaims. The 550s, I think, is what they are. The Arrows are the smaller ones. I run the slightly bigger one. XL mounts, front mount, side rod. Easton Arrows, 2712s for indoor. I think there's 250 grains in the front of them. Running a Flex Fletch 360, I think is what they are. Biter Hunter Knock. Specialty stack at Peep. Executive release. I think that pretty much narrows it down.
Now, do you ever change anything? Like, what do you get set up and then that's it? You're good to go, or are you always tinkering with stuff and changing things in and out?
I've got a mindset: if it isn't broke, don't fix it. So once I find something that works, even times I've gone back and looked at notes to see what has worked in the past and what kind of recipe, tend to, be more forgiving on the line. Generally, I'll stick with those setups, kind of know the ins and outs of that stuff. Obviously, if we're going to change bows, if they come up with something new and we got to change a bow, then obviously that work starts over to try and figure out what it likes, what it doesn't like. But for the most part, I mean, I've run that 2712 setup for 4 or 5 years, within reason, I guess I should say, not that exact one, but, within an inch or two of arrow length, point weight, same within 50 grains, knock and vein choice there again,
right.
Kind of the same, but I'm not one to really tinker. Kind of once I've got something working really well, unless I feel that there's something I need to work on or something that I seen, especially at a tournament, that I could possibly make better. I'll then try and duplicate that setup, but I'll work on it on another bow and
Okay.
leave the one that's working really well. But and then hunting setup, right now I'm running the Arc 30,
Okay.
the new Easton 5.0s. I think I've got the aluminum and stainless half out. So I don't know what it is. I think it's 155 grains or 55
Okay.
grains or something. So yeah, I think I'm running 155 or something up front. Flex Fletch Quad X vanes on the back, just to try them this year. I'm not really one for 4 Fletch, but I thought, well, you know what, I'll give her a go. And then Sevr Hybrid, the new 2-inch that we come out with.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Driver sight, QAD, MXT.
MX2. Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned the executive release.
Yep.
You had something to do with that?
Yeah, a little bit of insight with that. Yeah,
just a little bit. How did that all play? How did that all play out?
I shot a version of that release since 2015. I
Okay.
actually won the Lancaster Classic with a version of it.
Oh, there you go.
Back in the day. But yeah, I've shot true ball for 2010, 2007, 2008. I don't even know. It's been a long time, 20 years, we'll say.
Wow.
But yeah, started kind of in cahoots with building a release with them, and definitely took some time. There was a lot of variations, a lot of different prototypes that I shot and played with, and we ended up settling with what we come out with. So
that's awesome. Any changes over the years, or any changes coming in the future? Or are they staying?
We're working on some things.
You have to wait and find out.
yeah. I have to approve of it first, but
okay. Nice. That's great.
Yeah, no, the first version of it obviously was the non-flex version. They run that for the year, and then obviously the following year come out with the movable finger. A couple other things in their release as well, magnetic bail, because people were, kind of having issues with the hook trying to reset, or they were kind of fumbling it or whatever. So we just did a magnetic reset on that. So there was 2 things that we come out with a change with it, and then it's been the same for the last year or 2.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the new 5.0s? Are you liking them?
I like them. Yeah. I mean, it seems like a super solid arrow. In the past, I shot the 4mm long range and the Parallel Pros. I like the 5.0. I mean, I think it's a great kind of in the air, in the middle as far as diameter goes. It's got great specs as far as GPI. And there again, with the new match grade components with the inserts and stuff, you can pretty much do whatever you want with it. If you want to run a lot up front, or, kind of that 120 grains ish up front with the broadhead, then, you have that capability of doing so.
Yeah, they're great. I shot them last year. I've got another dozen of them. So
yeah,
I'll be using them again. But yeah, I've used the Sonics. I've used the like the Axis. They're all great. They're all great in their own way. I think this one is kind of the one everybody's been waiting for, because it's just light enough, but you can make it heavy if you want. Like, it's great.
Yeah, it's a combination of an Axis, and I guess you could kind of throw a Sonic in there as well. It's kind of the best of both worlds. The wife shoots the Sonic 6.0s.
Okay.
Just her draw length, she doesn't pull a lot of pounds, but so they work well for her. But yeah, I think the 5.0 was just kind of something that they were missing, and they were able to kind of meet that market. And anybody that I know that has got their hands on them and shot them seem to really like them.
Nice. And are you doing a lot of practice in the off season, or when tournament season's over, do you just kind of focus on hunting and everything else, or what?
Yeah, I generally don't unpack the target bow for quite some time until I need to maybe pick it back up in November. But
right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always shooting. Obviously, set the target bow down, pick up the hunting bow. So I guess there's obviously a little bit of a difference there. But yeah, I mean, I'm always shooting. So it's definitely a bit of a culture shock when you do go back to the tournament bow, with just the amount of weight that we have on them. And, over the years, we don't, over the course of the year, we don't really know how much is actually on there until we, put it down for a couple months and then come back to it.
Yeah. I see some animals behind you. What, obviously, so you've been hunting from a young age as well, too, you were saying? You got started
12.
pretty young at 12? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first animal that you took it?
Whitetail.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the bow.
Yeah.
It was a whitetail.
Is that a mountain goat behind you?
It is a mountain goat, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I killed that.
Where'd you do that?
BC.
Oh, beautiful.
In 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2020. Whatever COVID was. 2020?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good time to go.
Yeah. Killed that billy in 2020. And then I've got a couple Alberta antelope here as well that I killed. I want to say one was in 18 and the other one was 2022 or something like that.
Okay.
Killed them on the same day, but 3 years apart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you had a lot of experience with the Sevrs?
Yeah. I started shooting Sevrs, I think, when I started shooting Fort Easton, maybe a couple of years later. So it's been at least 4 or 5 years. And then started doing a lot of their distance testing for them. And so the hybrids, I have a couple of different versions. I actually have another version of Broadhead that I believe will be releasing in the fall. Not 100% sure on that one, but I've had some success with it, and it's treated us well in the prototype stages anyways. So hopefully, coming to the consumer, it'll do the same. But I've had the opportunity to work with that company for the last few years and really get a chance to try their broadheads, and I've had pretty darn good success with them, so I'm happy with them.
Yeah. Do you prefer the hybrids over the no bleeder?
I've always been one, if there's more blades there, the better.
Right.
As far as an entry hole or more cutting surface. But I mean, the standard ones treated me so well. I've killed a couple mule deer with it, a couple whitetails, and a elk in Wyoming, and had great success with those. But when we come out with the hybrids, I pretty much switched right to them. Yeah,
they're great. I've shot them through some ballistics gel and did some testing of my own with them, and they're wild. It's great that they just pivot.
Just like it's almost they pivot to a point. I think a lot of people kind of look at it like that as a bit of a I don't really want to say like a bad thing, but I've not had one completely collapse and pivot out of the way, or I guess people's concern is it's redirecting the arrow direction, right, instead of just essentially punching straight through it. But I've never seen a direction change on an impact or had any really downfall from it. But I've had a lot of pass-throughs with them, so I can't really complain there.
Nope. Just want to take a quick break to talk to you about a couple of things that I've been using that I think might benefit you. One is this Numa Outdoors gear. This is in their Kaza OV pattern, which is great whitetail pattern when you're up in a tree in the fall and late season. They also have a Kaza pattern which has more green in it, which is good for spring through to the fall. Numa has given me a code to give to you of Caribou Media 20, which will save you 20% at checkout. Another product here that I've been using for years now is the Bulldog targets. This is a Canadian made target. They're made in Manitoba. They have a lifetime warranty. I've used that warranty twice now on a couple of my larger targets that are outside. It's very simple, very easy. These targets are 2-finger removal every single time, which is incredible. Field point only target. Bulldog's been gracious enough to give me a 20% discount code to give to you. At checkout, use code BD20-Caribou-Media. That'll save you 20% on these awesome targets. Now back to the show.
And even the big one, like I shot my elk in Wyoming at 55 with the 2.0, and that arrow went 40 yards past them. So
wow.
it no issues at all. So,
were you shooting fixed blades before that? Like, or have you always been a mechanical?
I shot for Schwacker for quite some time before that.
Okay.
Yeah. My fixed blade days were when I first started. 75 grain muzzies.
There you go.
And 75 grain muzzies and a CXL 150. That's a 23 series indoor arrow with an insert is what I shot for hunting. And a 4-inch feather.
But, a feather?
Yeah. That was the first deer that I killed with a bow was with a CXL 150, a 75 grain muzzy, and a 4-inch feather. I think I still have that arrow. Pretty positive.
Is there any piece of hunting gear that you never leave home without, that is something that's kind of obviously not a knife or something, but something that's kind of in your arsenal that you will never not go out with?
Matches.
Yeah. Waterproof matches or just matches in general?
No, waterproof matches.
There you go.
Never had to use them, but I've always carried a thing of matches, and I think Dad was the same, matches and a compass, I think. But I mean, any place that we hunt really around here, we pretty much know like the back of our hand. But obviously, hunting out west and other states, it could come in handy at some point, but hopefully not in a bad way.
No. Yeah, hopefully you never have to use them.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, and then, as far as an archery piece that I always have with me, maybe a backup release or something in case I drop one, which I've done before. But
second executive. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do some target shooting with pistols and rifles too?
I never really did. I own pistols and stuff. I never really got into the target scene with them, but rifles a little bit. Yeah. Like rimfire.
Yeah.
Yep. I haven't in the last quite some time.
Oh no?
No, okay. I haven't shot my 22 in probably a few years now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to put the bow down.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's times I'll look at the gun safe and I'd be like, it'd be really fun to go do that, but it's like I should probably focus on priorities.
Yeah.
For sure. If I get some spare time, I'll maybe tinker with something like that. But this time of year, it's from January to pretty much May. It's like nonstop. March this year is, I think there's 3 or 4 back to back.
Wow.
So it's going to be a little chaotic here in the next month.
Yeah. How's that play with your mind when you're trying to be all like, you just focus on where you are in the moment and not think about what's coming up down the road? Or how do you stay focused?
Yeah, like I said, this March, it's kind of weird because I've got an ASA in a couple weeks, 2 weeks, I think it is. And then we go to indoor nationals in Memphis. And then we go to another ASA.
Wow.
And then we go to Vegas. And so going from an outdoor bow or a 3D bow back to an indoor bow, back to a 3D bow, and then back to an indoor bow. That's certainly challenging. Yeah, I mean, it's the same model. Like I'm still running the Title 40 for everything, but I mean, for guys like us, and trying to juggle something like that, it's a little bit harder than one would think, especially with two different setups, completely different feels, and it's just you spend time with one and then you go to another one. It takes some time to readjust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you prefer indoor versus outside?
Not really, no. I mean, I like shooting indoor, but then I like getting outside too. So it's kind of the novelty kind of wears off a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, when you want to get outside and you want to enjoy, the fresh air and stuff instead of spending your time inside all the time. But yeah, I mean, I like indoor to an extent, but I like shooting outside as well.
That's good. Can you do you have a hunting story you can tell us from I know they're all memorable, but
Uh, Probably, I'm gonna say probably one of my antelope one. I was hunting with Tate Morgan in Montana,
okay.
and we had, I don't know how many stalks we went on that morning, but we basically kiboshed every single one. And the goat that I did end up shooting was kind of funny. I mean, it happened all super, super quick, but we had kind of were cruising down one of his grandpa's properties, one of the side roads, and spotted this group of goats, and decided the one big goat that was in that group, that he was a shooter. It was something that we'd entertain, and so kind of put it all together, and we get within, I want to say 50 or 55 yards, and anyways, I mean, they're curious, but they're like ridiculously fast.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so, I mean, he knew we were there. I mean, he was looking at us. Anyways, I ended up cutting the arrow loose and hitting him just a tad low, and he took off. And we kind of gave him some time, and so we looped around this one hillside, and anyways, we ended up spotting him, and he was bedded down. And so we clicked him, and he was like 70 something. And
Mm-hmm.
so Tate's like, just shoot him right there. And so, not knowing at the time, but when we went on a first stalk that one morning, one of the stalks, anyways, obviously I had leaned on the bow and moved the sight housing all the way in. So
Oh
I was shooting like way right.
yeah.
And so cut one loose, and I shot like, I don't know, a foot in front of him or something. And he's like, "Man, you're like way, way in front." So I was like, "Oh, geez, like I don't know, like maybe something happened or whatever." So I shot another one, and it was touching that arrow. And he's just like, "Well, you got a good group down there." Anyways, I proceeded to empty my quiver, but I had probably a tennis ball sized group at 70 some yards with broadheads with 3 arrows. And anyways, we
Wow.
ended up walking up on them and able to shoot them that way. But yeah, so that was a bit of a eye opening, kind of like what the heck was going on. But it was kind of funny. We laugh about it now, and yeah, it was a good hunt.
Nice. Do you have a favorite spot in Canada and the US where you hunt? Or that you like going back to?
I really like Alberta. I love
Well,
hunting there,
yeah.
but I mean, scenery, my mountain goat hunt was like unreal.
Yeah.
Like that was mentally taxing.
Okay.
Anybody that is considering doing that, you might want to start training a year in advance. But just the terrain, like how they live up there, is, to me,
Wild.
I have no idea. Like, and the stuff they walk on is like, again, I don't know how they, like, I don't know how anything lives up there, for one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing up there. But
Nothing. No.
anyways, that was, I mean, I would go on that in a heartbeat, and I am planning on going on one this year in August. So we'll hopefully be able to harvest another one. So
How did the one behind you play out?
I killed him on the third day. He is my longest shot to date. I killed him at 112.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know what his actual line of sight distance was. I just know with the angle and what I had to shoot him for, I ended up shooting him for 112 yards. So, but yeah, we had spotted him that morning from camp, kind of made a game plan. Ended up going up the one mountainside, I guess, and ended up coming up on the wrong side of him. So he was 400 or 500 yards away
Okay.
instead of, within bow range.
That's right.
And so
this isn't going to work.
No. So unfortunately, we couldn't go above him and go over. We ended up getting cliffed out. So we had to go all the way back down and cross over on another side and then go back up. So we spotted him right at daybreak, and I killed him late afternoon that same day. So yeah, they don't go very far from, kind of where you'll see them in the morning.
Okay. They're not travelers.
No, like they seem to hang. I mean, unless something pushes them, but
right.
They seem to hang around, relatively close to where you might see them. But we've seen a lot of billies. The gentleman that the two guys that took me were gun hunters. They've never taken a bow hunter, so when I showed up with a bow, they were kind of like,
"Oh, great!"
Yeah, they were just like, "You don't have a gun?" I was like,
"Yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with that?"
Yeah,
don't worry.
So they we had to kind of have a little chit chat after the first one kind of got away on us, just because it's not like a rifle, click the safety and squeeze the trigger.
Right.
They were just kind of like, shoot it, and I'm like, well, I don't even have an arrow on, like, what, So yeah, it was a little bit of a challenge the first day to kind of grasp the concept of it's not as quick as a gun. So
yeah,
but
there's a process to this.
it was a little bit of a process. Yeah. And that country is definitely not archery country. That is gun country for sure.
Yeah.
But we made do. So it was worth it.
Yeah, it's amazing over there. I went to BC a couple years ago now for elk, and it's just like everywhere you look, it looks like a painting, right?
Yeah.
And you think of the mountains that we have here in Ontario, and then you get over there and you're like, holy cow, that is a mountain.
Yeah.
It's like,
when you're standing there and you're like, we got to go up there. It was, like I said, it was kind of mind boggling at the start, and it definitely, you got to power through that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. You got to have some mental toughness for sure.
Yeah.
To stay in the game, especially when because I mean, where you would be for your mountain goat, there's, like you said, there's nothing there.
No, there's literally nothing there. They took a guy the week after me, and he lasted a day. He ended up leaving.
Day? No way.
Yeah. Because I gave them the week, and then I texted him and I said, hey, how'd you guys make out? And he's just like, he lasted a day. I was like, what? And so yeah, he ended up leaving.
Wow. Yeah.
He was from the States somewhere. I don't know where, but I was just like,
A lot of people don't take into account, you can watch as many videos as you want about it. It's grueling. It's taxing. It's going to play with your mind. The weather's going to beat you up. Did you get a lot of weather while you were out there?
The 3 days that we were there, or that I was there, were like perfect conditions.
Nice.
Like you could not have asked for any better. Yeah, I mean, I knew I was gonna go on that hunt probably a year before.
Okay.
If not maybe 8 months. So I did some pretty extensive training, and even once I got there and the amount of gear and stuff that we had, like, I would be lying if I said I wasn't sore.
What kind of preparation did you do for that?
Mainly the stair mill or whatever that thing is at the gym.
Just keep going.
Basically that. Wore a weighted vest or whatever, and just basically keep going. But I mean, I felt really good. on that hunt. But yeah, by the 4 days, the feet were pretty sore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of boots were you wearing for that? Do you
I
usually stick to the same brand or?
those ones I wore a new brand. I wore hand wags.
Oh yeah.
But I also I've wore Zamberlins for years.
Okay.
I really really like those boots. So I mean I would switch back and forth between my Zamberlins and the handwags, but I did wear the handwags probably the most. The sole of that boot was a little bit stiffer, a little bit more geared towards a mountain hunt
Mhm.
than my Zamberlins, but yeah, that's pretty much what I wear.
Yeah, I run the Loa Tibet GTX. I love those boots.
Okay, yeah.
I did pick up some of the Hanwogs, but I found that I had to order them online because I didn't have anywhere to get them here, and
Yep.
the toe box is super small. So
Mm,
my big feet don't get in them very well. So I have
yeah.
to stick to the wide. It's weird, you know. Boots are a finicky thing. You should really be trying them on before you buy them. But
Yeah,
um,
I bought those ones in a place in Alberta. I forget where it was. But there again, I mean, like they had all that stuff. Here, the very first pair of Zamberlins I bought was at Mech in Ottawa.
okay.
But that's, I mean, like you said, I mean, ordering a pair of boots online, I'm always very hesitant because I could be a 10 and a half in one, or I could be a 10 in the other. And
Hmm.
I mean, right at the start, if they're not comfortable, they're likely not going to be fine.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, they just need more break-in time.
Yeah. Yeah. More blisters. Yeah.
More, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Don't worry, it'll get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, just before we get off here, I just want to ask a couple more things. When it comes to pressure situations and like how do you manage adrenaline at full draw when you're in these tournaments?
Um, Big thing with that is I think experience.
Okay.
And I did, at an early age, putting myself, or I guess being in those high pressure situations, understanding what worked for me and what didn't work for me, and being able to carry it on to the amount of experience that I've had and the success that I've had over the years. Just been able to build on that. I don't really think that there's anything that I could tell somebody that, is going to improve nerves or whatever, other than, I mean, we all get nervous.
Hmm.
Um, we may not look like we get nervous, but I assure you, everybody is feeling some sort of nerves up there,
For
whether it
sure.
be, Vegas shoot off or, going for that 900 or whatever. But, it's just, we've had the experience of putting ourselves in that position time and time again that, we've able to kind of polish or hone um, something that we might say to ourselves, or a routine on how we load an arrow, or, kind of what we think about prior to drawing the bow. But for me, it's just the way I was coached early on, and the understanding of pressure situations and things, atmosphere happening around me. I was able to really tune that out because that's how I was trained.
Okay.
We were trained to, be able to make the shot if people are whispering in your ear or talking about you. I mean, obviously, nobody's going to stand on the line and whisper in your ear, but
Mm.
you get the idea of people talking about you, or, all eyes on you type thing.
Hmm.
So we did, when I was being coached and those training days, um, we focused on a lot of things that would come into play when it comes to being able to make it happen when everybody was watching you.
Hmm. And are you trusting in the float of your pin, or are you trying to override that, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, when you're nervous, obviously the pin's going to move a lot faster than what you technically want. Um, a lot of it is just timing. I mean, for us, or for me, I guess, it boils down to timing. I have a certain timing window that I want that shot to break in. If it exceeds that window and I have time to draw down and restart, then it's something I'm going to do. A lot of times with world archery, or shoot off situations, you have 20, 30 seconds to shoot that arrow. So you don't have a lot of time. And especially once you kind of get deep into the shot and it doesn't want to break, you've exceeded that threshold to be able to draw down and start over. So I guess, you kind of have to make it happen. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of, I guess, maybe the way it is.
Yeah. And during your coaching, are there techniques that you teach yourself about how to reset your mind after a bad shot and not focus on the one that you can't bring back?
Yeah. There's a couple that I would like back. I'll tell you that.
Well,
right
we
now,
all have that. We're all
yeah.
students of archery, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no point in getting upset about it,
No.
or I guess kind of ticked off, because I mean it's gone and you really can't change it. But I've always told myself, and especially when it comes to high pressure situations, it's easier to make a good shot than it is a bad shot.
Right.
And so that's kind of what I tell myself. If I'm second guessing myself before I even draw the bow back, it's already not going to be good.
That's a problem. Yeah.
So, give myself a couple seconds to kind of, clear the thoughts, rethink of what's going on, and then, then we'll go.
No, that's good. Yeah. It's because everybody wants to focus on, or it's easy to get trapped in the bad shot, but you can't, like we said, it's something you can't take it back. So
it is. I think, and I think a lot of people get trapped on the bad shot, but also trapped on the score. There's a certain expectation that they want to meet, and if they don't meet that every single time, then it's just been a terrible day.
Yeah.
And sometimes, for somebody that's really wanting to work on something, sometimes you got to take that step back. Don't worry about the score, but work on what will make you better as a shooter. And then also the score will come with that. So, I mean, there's certainly different avenues to look at it. Yeah, I mean, most of us are trained to look at the bad and not the good. And so, like you said, it's sometimes people get caught up in that moment, and it's just the end of the world.
Yeah. And is there anything special in regards to you for maintaining your consistency with every shot? Is your
just repetition? I mean, it's there again, I've always told people, it's, you can do it once, you can do it 30 times.
Yep.
When it comes to indoors, everybody's like, I just the 30x eludes me. I can shoot 29s or the 300, the Vegas 300 eludes me. I just can't do it. But I'm like,
right.
I mean, if you can shoot 110, you can shoot it 30 times. It's not that hard.
Yep.
We make it difficult. We do.
That's true.
We make the game a lot harder than it needs to be, or a lot harder than it is. But as far as, keeping consistency and being able to, I guess, shoot good quality scores week in and week out, it's just time behind it instead of trying to find that magic thing. There again, like I said, I mean, we didn't really talk much about tuning, but when it comes to tuning, for me, it's just, I'll start with a piece of paper, I'll shoot it through paper, and that'll be it. I'm not going to spend a ton of time trying to make it perfect, because at the end of the day, I'm probably going to change it anyways to what I feel as far as group tuning or
bear shafts or anything like that.
There again, very, very minimal. If I feel like I'm seeing something in the setup and I'm just not 100% sure, I might verify it with a bear shaft just to see what's going on. But there again, I'm like super basic when it comes to tuning. I'll set my center shot 13/16, set my knock height, whatever it needs to be to get, blade clearance, and go to a piece of paper. If it bullet holes, great. If it doesn't, well, then, might be something to look at, but it also might be okay. So I've had a lot of paper tears that are some pretty big tears, but I've won, national level tournaments or world level tournaments with it like that. So
right.
For me, paper tells a little bit of the story. I mean, if you talk to Tim Gillingham, paper tells all the story. I mean, that's his. He wants it to be perfect.
Right.
But for me, yeah, it's just basic. I spend a lot of time behind the bow. I want to learn the bow. I want to learn the setup. And then once I have that, I've pretty much got all I need.
Yeah, as long as it works out down the other end, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, if I make a mediocre shot and it still hits, I'm happy with it, you know. But we try and avoid those. But
Yeah.
we're human, so
Yeah.
we're not perfect all the time.
Can have a bit of a tear as long as it lands where I want it to.
Yeah.
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 Do you think social media has played a positive or negative role in the hunting and archery space, or do you have a thought on that?
I don't really have much of a
No
thought
comment.
on that. I will say, like, what is available for information now versus when I was growing up. I mean,
Sure.
I had to figure it out by myself, you know,
Right.
like there
Right.
again, dad provided the equipment, but he's like, I know nothing about it. So, you know,
Here you
yeah, basically, literally,
Good luck.
like,
Good
yeah.
luck.
Yeah. He's like, once you figure it out,
You
then I
tell
want
me.
it on mine. Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, what is available for kids now or people, you know, getting into the sport now, trying to understand, you know, the works of tuning and stuff like that is like crazy in what's online.
Mhm.
That being said, a lot of the stuff online takes these people into a pretty big rabbit hole
Yeah.
that, you know, is just there's too much information or not the right information.
Right. Yeah.
So it's good and it's bad at the same time.
Of course. Yeah. There are some pretty big holes you can go rabbit holes you can go down and
Oh yeah, I mean, and
get
I mean,
lost.
you don't need to watch anything on YouTube or anything like that to go down a rabbit hole with archery equipment.
No.
So
Yeah.
we'll
No.
spend our own money doing that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what's your hunting arrow set, like your final weight for your hunting arrow?
415 grains.
Or 15. There you go.
Yeah. And if I can keep it under 400, I'm happy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not if I can I certainly won't exceed 420. I've never shot an arrow heavier than that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Within the last I shouldn't say I've never shot an arrow heavier than I have. When I shot a PSC Omen at 65 pounds, I think I shot a Carbon Express pile driver 450, which was like 13 point whatever grains per inch.
Those are their heavy ones. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that arrow was probably 550, 600 grains. But yeah, within the last 10 years, I've never exceeded Zeus. I've never the dog. I've never exceeded 420 grains.
Okay.
And so out of the arc, that's spitting them out at like 313.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What was your first what was the first thing you noticed as a difference with the arc compared to previous models?
So going from the Lift X to the arc, surprisingly enough, I mean, it blows my mind how they do it, because I honestly don't know how they do it. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's just like, oh, they say it every year. It's the best thing ever. And it truly is, though. Like
But
that's
it
the
is.
thing.
They're not lying.
It literally is
Yeah.
the best bow that they've come out with year after year. And again, not trying to be biased, but I mean, when I shot the Lift X, I mean, that thing shot unreal.
Right.
And so for them to come out with the arc and for me to get that in my hands and shoot that, it was just like, I don't know how they do it. But the biggest thing I noticed was vibration and sound.
Okay.
And then I let my dad shoot. What did he have? He had a lift. Yeah, he's usually one behind me. He's always like, I get the hand-me-downs. I get the hand-me-downs. So
Nice.
he's got the Lift X now, and like he said, he went from the Lift to the Lift X. Like, again, there wasn't much of a difference there, other than some limb shift and a couple other things. Like he said, he noticed a little bit, but he shot my arc, and he's just like completely different animal. Like he said, they just the draw cycle of the cam, just the shot feel of the bow. So I guess there again would be vibration. And he said the sound was just like nothing he has ever shot before.
Wow.
And so that's the biggest thing I noticed about it. And then, I mean, it didn't matter what I shot out of it. I shot 4mm long ranges. I shot the 5.0s and the parallel pros, and it shot everything exceptionally well. So,
yeah, I have yet to get my hands on the parallel pros, but they look pretty interesting.
Yeah, they're a nice option to have if you're wanting to shoot something a little bit smaller as far as diameter goes. Something a little bit heavier, obviously, with the aluminum core, and then you can run pretty much whatever you want, 4mm knock or a pin bushing. So there's definitely some different options there, but basically a 4mm long range on steroids a little bit.
Right.
That's how I kind of compare them.
That's right. So for people that are watching you on TV or watching at these events, and they're trying to, do you have any advice for people that are trying to perfect their score and kind of work their way up in the tournament side?
Yeah, I mean, biggest thing is, if you feel like you're struggling with something, spend some time on that particular something, whatever it might be. I definitely come back from Lancaster. I felt like I wasn't 100% on stage. I felt like I lacked a little bit of concentration, but also comfort or confidence, I guess you could say.
Right.
So any time that you feel, that you're not performing at your best, and you're able to figure out what that might be, it's certainly something to come back to the home range and work on. But I mean, and if you've got somebody that can video a couple shots throughout your round, and you're able to put that into a bit of a photo bank and kind of have that to go back on, and and maybe you might pick something up in those shots that you videoed that might be slightly different from one shot versus the other. It's something you might be able to diagnose. That's something that I do on occasion. I'll film a couple shots here and there, see if everything looks the same, or if I'm doing something that I might not be picking up on. It's good to have.
Yeah. Well, that's all good. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming on here. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Can you let everybody know how they find you?
Yeah, Facebook, just Christopher Perkins Professional Archer, or Instagram, cperk0501.
Awesome. Well, good luck at your up and coming events and your crazy March schedule.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I'm going to need it.
Yeah. We'll be cheering you on from home. How about that?
All right.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
All right.
Have a good night.
You as well.